Hey everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome back to our channel, and today we are diving into the world of web development, but specifically about test-driven development, otherwise known as TDD. In this video we'll unravel the mysteries of TDD, how it's revolutionizing the way we build, maintain applications. We'll also talk a little bit about the web development process and see where that comes in as well in the world of test-driven processes. So whether you are a seasoned developer or just starting your coding journey, this guide will equip you with the knowledge and skills to take your web projects to the next level. So grab your coding editor and let's dive into the exciting world of TDD. Let's get started. So what is actually meant by TDD, or test-driven development? Test-driven development is essentially a software development process that revolves around writing failing automated tests before writing any production code. It's a very cyclical process, and it involves writing a failing unit test. So this test should describe the desired functionality of the code to be written. Writing the minimum amount of code to pass the test. This code should be simple and straightforward as possible. Refactoring the code. This involves improving the code without changing its functionality. And then keep on repeating steps 1 to 3 until this feature is complete. It can be used in any type of software development, but it's particularly well suited for web development because web applications are typically composed of many small independent components, making them easy to test in isolation. So to get started with TDD in web development, you actually first need to choose a testing framework. A testing framework is a set of guidelines, tools, and libraries to help testers to automate the testing processes. It provides common structure for writing and executing test cases, and it can help reduce the time and effort needed to test software. There's a lot of different types of testing frameworks available, but they all share common features. Things like a way to organize and manage test cases, a way to execute test cases, a way to report on results. That can be done in a variety of ways, like generating a report or sending an email notification. Testing frameworks can be used to automate all types of software testing, including unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. They can be used to automate different types of tests, like functional tests, performance tests, and security tests. Some benefits of using a testing framework include increased efficiency and productivity. That's because testing frameworks can help tests to automate many of repetitive tasks involved in testing software. This can free up testers to focus on more complex tasks, like designing and executing test cases. Testing frameworks can also help improve the accuracy and reliability of testing because it provides a consistent structure for writing and executing test cases. And testing frameworks can help reduce the costs of testing by reducing the time and effort required to test the software. Once you've chosen a testing framework, you can start writing tests for your web application. The best way is to focus on the smallest, most independent component of your application. So for example, if you're developing a shopping cart application, you might want to start by writing tests for individual components of the shopping cart, for example, the product list, the cart itself, and the checkout process. Once you have written tests for the individual components of your application, you can start integrating them together and writing tests for the overall functionality of your application. TDD can be a challenging process to learn at first, but it's a very valuable skill for any web developer to have. With practice, you will find that TDD will help write better code and write code with fewer bugs. So there are a few popular testing frameworks for web development. We'll go over some of them today. The first one is Cypress. Cypress is a JavaScript-based end-to-end testing framework that's designed to be easy to use and debug. It's a newer testing framework, but it's become really popular due to its unique features and benefits. One of the key features of Cypress is that it runs tests in a real browser without the need for third-party drivers. This makes it really easy to write tests that mimic real user interactions. Cypress also provides a number of features that make it easy to debug tests, like the interactive test runner, snapshot testing, and error reporting as well. Cypress can be used to test all types of web applications, including single-page applications, progressive web applications, and also well integrated with popular JavaScript frameworks like React, Angular, and Vue. It's a really powerful and versatile testing framework and can be used to test all types of website applications. Really easy to use, debug, and integrates well with popular JavaScript frameworks. If you are developing web applications, I recommend using Cypress to test your code. It will help you to catch bugs early on and improve the quality of your applications. Next up is Mocha. So Mocha is a JavaScript testing framework that's really similar to Jest, but it's more flexible and extensible. It's also one of the oldest and most popular testing frameworks for JavaScript development. Mocha has a number of features that make it a really good choice for JavaScript testing, including flexibility, extensibility, support for multiple assertion libraries, and support for test coverage reporting as well. It can be used to test both synchronous and asynchronous code, and it also supports a number of features that make it really easy to write and maintain tests like test suites, test runners, and hooks. Mocha is a really powerful and flexible testing framework and can be used to test all types of JavaScript applications. It's really easy to use, extensible, and provides a number of features that make it easy to write and maintain tests. They also can be used to test JavaScript applications. You can do unit testing to test individual units of code. You can also test how different units of code interact with each other. You can also test entire applications by simulating user interactions, and can be used to test APIs by sending and receiving requests and responses as well. If you are developing JavaScript applications, I recommend using Mocha to test your code. It's a really good choice for both beginners and experienced testers. Next, we have Jasmine, and Jasmine is another JavaScript testing framework, and it's known for its simple and readable syntax. It's also very lightweight. They don't have any external dependencies as well, so it's a good choice for projects of all sizes. It's really easy to use, it's readable, it's lightweight, and it's feature-rich. They have support for both synchronous and asynchronous code, support for test suites, test runners, and hooks, built-in assertion libraries, and support for test coverage reporting as well. Jasmine is a really powerful and versatile framework that can be used to test all types of JavaScript applications. It's easy to use, readable, lightweight, and feature-rich. If you are developing JavaScript applications, I highly recommend using Jasmine to test your code. It will help you write your code better and catch bugs a lot earlier on. So lastly, we have Jest, and Jest is a JavaScript framework that is designed to be simple, fast, and reliable. It's one of the most popular testing frameworks for JavaScript, and it's mainly used by large companies like Facebook, Airbnb, and Google. It's very easy to use. It's also very fast at running tests because it uses a virtual DOM to render components and tests, which is much faster than rendering components in a real browser. Jest is very reliable and rarely produces false positives or negatives, and has lots of features, making it a really powerful testing framework like snapshot testing, mocking, and code coverage reporting. Jest is really powerful, it's very fast and easy to use, and we'll take a closer look at getting started with Jest as well. So you can actually start installing Jest using the command line. You just want to make sure you have Node.js installed first. First, we are going to navigate to our desktop, and we are going to make a new folder on our desktop. And we'll call it Test Jest Framework. And now let's go inside the folder, and let's just open the code file. And just open a code editor. And you'll see the code editor open our test framework. And now what we're going to do is we are going to just open a default kind of JSON package. So what we're going to do, we're going to type in npm init --y, and you can see it's created a default JSON package. You'll see when we open the JSON package here, we've got the name, version, all of that. This is just a default JSON package. It's not anything to do with Jest just yet. This is just a default JSON package. So now let's actually install Jest with the npm command, and then install D Jest. It's going to take some time, maybe about 3 minutes. So I'm just going to create a file, so that after this we install it, we can see that. So I'm just going to make a new file called sum.js, and I'm just going to create a function. And just a simple kind of function to run, so we have something to test. And Jest should be installed. Nope, just a few more. Yeah. And now if you go back to JSON, and we're just going to remove this here, this no test specified, and we're actually going to replace that with Jest. So this just means that we have to run the old test cases with Jest. Now the function that we created is also ready for the test, but there's still one more file that we need to create to actually test. So we'll go up here, create one more file, we'll call it sum.test.js. So first of all, let's just type in const sum equals, and then we'll do request. Require actually. So that we can get the test case. Great. And then we're going to add some text here. And we're going to call it test case. And we're going to add a new function. So in this parameter, and expect function as well. And here just put the sum, and also add the to be. And we expect the sum to be 3 because we wrote in our sum function return 1 plus 2, which is 3. So we are just going to write the to be function to be 3. So now our basic test case is ready, and we can see how we can run it. So to run it, we go back to the command line and we do npm run test. Yep, so we need to change this one test instead of track list. The autocorrect is not great. So now let's run this again. npm run test, and we'll run it one more time. And you can see it's working right now to test. And you just keep testing and trialing until you get the results that you need, and then you have that running continuous as well with Jest and testing that as well. So let's look at some advantages of using TDD in web development. The main one obviously being is that it does help improve the quality of your code, because it forces developers to think really carefully about the design and implementation of their code before they actually start writing it. This leads to cleaner and more modular and more testable code as well. TDD helps to catch bugs really early in the development process, which saves time and money in the long run. It gives developers a confidence that their code is working as expected. This can lead to faster development and a more positive development experience. TDD makes it easier to refactor code without introducing new bugs, and this is because the tests act as like a safety net, ensuring that the code still works after the refactoring is complete. And it can be used for documentation for the code as well. It can help other developers to understand how the code works and how to use it. TDD also helps to improve the performance of web applications, because it helps developers think carefully about their performance earlier on in the development process instead of leaving it last in the testing section. It can help reduce cross-browser compatibility issues, because it forces developers to test their code in multiple browsers. And it can also help improve the accessibility of web applications, because it forces developers to test their code with accessibility tools as well. Overall, it's a really valuable tool for web developers that can help improve the quality and performance and accessibility of web applications. So now let's talk a little bit more about the web development process and where TDD comes in. So what is the website development roadmap? The website development roadmap process, it involves several key steps, and essentially all of these steps make up the roadmap from conception all the way to launch. So here's a general overview. First up, we have project discovery, and this is the initial phase, and it involves understanding the client's goals, target audience, and project requirements. Discussions and brainstorming sessions help to clarify the scope, features, and overall vision for the website. Then there's the planning. So once the project objectives are clear, the development team outlines the project plan, including timelines, milestones, and resources. They decide on the technology stack, content structure, and design approach. The next phase is the design phase, and in this phase, designers create wireframes and mockups that visualize the website's layout, the interface, and user experience. Feedback and revisions refine the design until it aligns with the client's visions and the agency's capabilities. Next up, you actually have content creation, and content development starts including writing, imagery, videos, and other multimedia elements. Quality content is essential for engaging users and conveying the intended message. Next up is the development stage, and developers will then take the design and turn it into a functional website, and this involves coding, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and any kind of background programming. They will build the interactive elements, the databases, and integrate any necessary third-party tools. Next is the testing phase. So rigorous testing is crucial to ensure the website works smoothly across various devices, browsers, and screen sizes. Bugs, glitches, and usability issues are identified and resolved during this phase. Then you have a client review. The client review is for the client to actually review the development website and provides any feedback. Any necessary adjustments are made before proceeding. As the website nears completion, preparations for launch begin, and this includes configuring hosting, domain setup, SSL certification, and any other technical requirements. And then you have the actual launch, and this is when the website is made live to the public, and this involves migrating the website to its final hosting environment, ensuring all links and functionalities are working correctly. And lastly, you have post-launch testing and optimization. After launch, ongoing testing continues to catch any issues that might arise once the site is live. Additionally, performance optimization and SEO efforts are undertaken to enhance user experience and visibility in search engines. Website maintenance and updates, and this should be offered sort of by agencies afterwards, but essentially websites require regular maintenance, including security updates, content updates, and feature enhancements. This phase ensures the website remains functional and up to date over time. And next up, you have analytics and monitoring. So continuous monitoring of website traffic and user behavior provides insights into how well the website is performing and where improvements can actually be made. So the specifics of each step can vary based on the complexity of the project and the practice of the development agency. This roadmap provides a sort of general outline of the website development process from start to finish. In the next few slides, we'll go over each of these phases in more detail. So first up, we have the project discovery phase. So as mentioned before, the project discovery phase is the critical starting point in the website development process. It's during this phase the development team, along with the client, will collaboratively gather information and define the project scope, goals, and requirements. The goal of project discovery is to establish a clear understanding of what the client wants to achieve and to lay the foundation for a successful process. So here's a breakdown of what happens during the project discovery phase. We have initial meetings. So the development team meets with the client to initiate discussions about the project, and these meetings might involve key stakeholders, designers, developers, and project managers. The purpose of the initial meeting is to introduce the team, establish a rapport, and create an open line of communication. Next up, the client's goals and objectives for the website are discussed. So this could include the purpose of the website. Is it an e-commerce, informational website, portfolio, etc.? Target audience, desired user experience, and any specified outcomes the client wants to achieve. Next up, brainstorming sessions are then conducted to explore different ideas, concepts, and approaches for the website. And this might involve discussing design aesthetics, branding, visual elements, and potential features. The scope of the project is defined, which includes specific features, functionalities, and pages that the website will include. The team and client collaborate to identify what's feasible within the given timeline and budget. Next up is a requirements document, and in this section, all of the gathered information, discussions, and decisions are documented in a requirements document. And this document serves as a reference point for the rest of the development process and helps prevent misunderstandings. And lastly, client agreement. So based on the information gathered during the discovery phase, the development team and the client may formalize the agreement through a contract or project proposal. This document will outline the scope, timeline, budget, and all the other relevant terms. The project discovery phase lays the groundwork for the entire development process. It ensures the development team and the client share a common understanding of the project's goals, requirements, and constraints, which in turn helps streamline the subsequent stages of design, development, and implementation. So next up is the planning phase, and the planning phase in website development is a crucial step that follows the project discovery phase. And during this phase, the information gathered from the project discovery phase is used to create a detailed roadmap for the project, and the planning phase sets the stage for a successful execution of the website development process by defining the project scope, objectives, resources, timelines, and milestones. So here's a deeper look at what happens during the planning phase. First up is scope refinement, and the project scope, as outlined during the project discovery phase, is refined further to ensure clarity. Any ambiguities or gaps in the scope are addressed to avoid misunderstandings later in the project. Based on the project's requirements, the development team selects the appropriate technology stack, and this includes decisions about the programming languages, frameworks, CMS, and any third-party tools or plugins that will be used. The high-level design and architecture of the website is designed. This includes decisions about how different components of the website will interact, the data flow, and the overall system structure. Designers will then create wireframes and prototypes that outline the basic layout and user interface of the website. These visual representations provide a glimpse of how different elements will be arranged on the pages. A detailed project timeline is created, breaking down the development process into phases, tasks, and milestones, and this timeline will help provide a clear roadmap for the entire project and helps manage expectations as well. The team then identifies the roles and responsibility of each team member, including designer, developer, content creators, and project managers. This ensures that everyone knows their role in the project and contributes effectively. The budget for the project is refined on the scope, resources, and timeline, and the client is provided then with a detailed cost estimation that includes development, design, testing, and any other related expenses. And lastly, we have the project management tool setups. So the tools and platform. This includes task tracking systems, version control, repositories, and communication channels. The planning phase lays out a clear roadmap for the development process, setting expectations for both the development team and the client. It helps minimize scope creep, reduces the likelihood of misunderstandings, and provides a structured approach to executing the actual project. A well-executed planning phase contributes significantly to the overall success of the website development project. So let's talk about the design phase. And the design phase starts off with mockups and prototypes. So designers will create detailed mockups or interactive prototypes of key pages or templates. These mockups provide a clear representation of how the final website will look and function, helping stakeholders visualize the end project. With the increasing use of various devices and screen sizes, responsive design is crucial. Designers ensure that the website's layout and elements adapt seamlessly to different screen resolutions, from desktop monitors to mobile phones. Designers will then ensure that the website is accessible to users with disabilities by following accessibility guidelines and incorporating features like alt text for images, proper heading structures, and keyboard navigation. Designers will work closely with content creators to ensure that content is seamlessly integrated into the design. This includes placing text, images, videos, and other multimedia elements in a visually appealing manner. Design iterations based on client feedback are a natural part of the process. Designers will make necessary revisions to ensure that the final design meets the client's preferences and objectives. And then once the design has been refined and aligns with the client's expectation, the client gives final approval for the design before moving on to the development phase. The design phase brings the project's visual elements to life and shapes the user experience that visitors will have on the website. Effectively, collaboration between designers, developers, and clients is really crucial to ensure that the design captures the essence of the project's goals and engages users effectively. So the next phase is the development phase, and during this phase the website design is transformed into the functional, interactive website. Developers will write code, integrate databases, and build the necessary functionalities, and this phase involves front-end development. So they will create the user interface by coding with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They will also ensure that the design is faithfully implemented and that the website is visually appealing and responsive. Back-end development will work on the server side of the website, and they build databases, handle data processing, and develop server logic to make sure the website's functionality works smoothly. And developers also implement interactive features, forms, search functionalities, user accounts, and any custom functionalities specific to the project in this phase here. After the development is complete, we moved on to the client review phase, and this is the phase where the client is presented with the working website for the first time for review. This phase involves client feedback again, so the client reviews the website again to ensure that it aligns with their vision and requirements. Any necessary changes or improvements are communicated to the team. And then based on client feedback, developers make necessary revisions to the website to address any concerns or requested changes. Once all of the changes have been confirmed, it moves on to the testing phase. So this is just before the website goes live. Rigorous testing is conducted to identify and resolve any bugs, errors, or usability issues. This phase includes functional testing, so ensuring that all functionalities, features, and links work as intended. Compatibility testing, so testing the website on various browsers, devices, and operating systems to ensure consistent performance. And performance testing, so assessing the website's loading speed, response times, and overall performance. Once the testing phase is complete, it's moved on to the launch phase, and this is when the website is actually ready to go live and client satisfied with everything. And this phase involves final prep, so in configuring hosting, domain settings, and ensuring all necessary files and database are ready for deployment. Moving the website from the development environment to the live server, and then launch announcement, so announcing the website's launch to the public or target audience. After the successful launch phase, then comes the post-launch testing and optimization. So after the website is live, ongoing testing and optimizations are necessary for continued success. This mainly involves bug monitoring, so continuously monitoring the website for any post-launch bugs or issues and addressing them promptly. And performance optimization, so optimizing the website speed, responsiveness, and user experience based on the real-world usage data. Next up is maintenance and updates, and this is basically ensuring that websites afterwards require regular maintenance and updates to remain functional, secure, and up to date. And this involves security updates, so applying patches and updates to prevent security vulnerabilities, content updates, so keeping the content fresh and relevant by adding new information, articles, products, and any feature enhancements, so introducing new features or improving existing ones based on user feedback and industry trends. So monitoring and analyzing the website's performance and user behavior provide valuable insights for continuous improvement, and this can be conducted during the analytics and monitoring phase. So things like traffic analysis, using tools like Google Analytics to track website traffic, user demographics, and popular pages, conversion tracking, so monitoring user actions such as form submissions, purchases, or downloads to measure the website's effectiveness, and then studying how users navigate the websites and identifying areas where users might face difficulties. So collectively, all of these phases ensure a comprehensive and successful website development process, from the initial design concept to the ongoing maintenance and optimization of the live website. So thank you again for joining us on this journey through the website development process. If you're looking to turn your own vision into a stunning online reality, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Profile Tree. Our dedicated team is here to bring your ideas to life and create a website that truly represents your brand. Visit our website or contact us today to start your digital transformation journey. Remember, at Profile Tree, your vision is our mission. So subscribe for more insightful content, and we look forward to working with you soon. So when it comes to testing web applications and web platforms, you also want to do other types of testing as well. And one other type of testing you want to make sure of is accessibility testing. So what is website accessibility? Website accessibility refers to the inclusive design and development of websites and web content so that people with disabilities can perceive, understand, navigate, and interact with them effectively. The goal of website accessibility is to ensure that all users, regardless of their abilities, can access and use websites without facing barriers or limitations. When a website is accessible, it accommodates a wide range of disabilities, including visual, auditory, motor, and cognitive impairments. Some examples of disabilities that website accessibility addresses are visual impairments. So people who are blind or have low vision may use screen readers or other assistive technologies to navigate the website. Website accessibility ensures that all information is presented in a way that can be understood audibly or through alternative formats like Braille. Deaf or hard of hearing users may also rely on captions or transcripts for multimedia content. Accessible websites provide these alternatives to ensure equal access to audio information. Users with motor impairments might navigate websites using specialized keyboards or other adaptive devices. An accessible website should be navigable without requiring precise mouse movements or rapid keystrokes. People with cognitive challenges may benefit from simplified language, clear headings, and consistent navigation to comprehend and interact with content effectively. And individuals with conditions like epilepsy may be sensitive to certain visual or auditory stimuli, and accessibility guidelines aim to minimize potential triggers. Website accessibility is not only a moral imperative to create a more inclusive digital environment, but it's also mandated by laws and regulations in many countries. For example, in the US, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, and the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, so the WCAG, provide standards and guidelines for website accessibility. Web developers can follow these guidelines and use various accessibility testing tools to ensure that their websites meet the required necessary criteria, making the internet a more accessible and equitable space for all users. So let's talk a little bit about the WCAG. As mentioned before, the WCAG essentially provide a comprehensive set of guidelines for making digital content accessible to people with disabilities. These guidelines are organized into 4 main principles, each with its own set of success criteria. First up, we have that the content should be perceivable. So this is things like providing text alternatives for non-text content, i.e. images, providing captions and other alternatives for multimedia, create content that can be presented in different ways without losing information, make text content readable and understandable. You also want to make sure that content is operable, and by this it means making sure all functionality is available from a keyboard, provide users enough time to read and use content, don't use content that causes seizures or physical discomfort, and provide ways to navigate, find content, and determine where they are. It's also important for content to be understandable, and that means making sure that the text content is readable and understandable, making sure web pages appear and operate in predictable ways, and help users avoid and correct mistakes. And lastly, the content must be robust. So essentially you want to maximize compatibility with current and future user agents and trends, including assistive technologies. Within each of these principles, there are specific success criteria that provide detailed guidelines for making content accessible. Some examples of these criteria include ensuring that images have descriptive alt text, providing captions and transcripts for videos, using sufficient color contrast for text and background, ensuring that all functionality can be accessed using a keyboard, and providing clear, consistent headings for content structure. These are just a few examples, and there are many more success criteria under each principle. The WCAG guidelines are designed to be adaptable to different technologies and are meant to provide a comprehensive framework for ensuring digital accessibility for people with disabilities. It's important to note that the WCAG has different levels of conformance. There's A, which is the lowest conformance, AA, intermediate, and AAA, which is the highest. A lot of organizations aim to achieve at least level AA conformance to provide a more inclusive online experience, but achieving level AAA conformance can be challenging and may not be feasible in all cases. So how can we check a website for accessibility? It involves a combination of automated testing, manual evaluation, and user feedback. So here are some steps that we can take to assess a website's accessibility. First up is automated testing. So using online tools and checkers to automatically scan the website for common accessibility issues. Some popular tools include Wave Web Accessibility Evaluation Tool, Axe Accessibility Testing Tools, and A-Checker. These tools provide reports highlighting potential accessibility structures like missing text, improper heading structure, and color contrast problems as well. However, automated tools may not catch all the issues, so manual testing is always essential. Next thing that you want to do is familiar yourself with WCAG guidelines. So get acquainted with the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines and their success criteria, and this will help you understand what constitutes good accessibility. Aim for at least level AA conformance, provide a solid baseline of accessibility, and if you can, where possible, you aim for AAA conformance. It's always good to perform manual evaluation on various aspects of your website using the WCAG guidelines as a reference. This involves testing keyboard navigations, headings, links, forms, and multimedia elements. Ensure images have descriptive alt text that conveys the purpose and content, and verify that color contrast meets accessibility and standards to make text readable for all users. Confirm that interactive elements are operable with the keyboard, and manually perform these checks as much as possible. It's also good to test with assistive technologies, screen readers like NVDA or VoiceOver, and other assistive tech to experience your website from the perspective of users with disabilities. You want to pay attention to how these technologies interpret your content and interact with your site's features. It's also good to engage real users with disabilities, so essentially invite individuals with disabilities to test your website and provide feedback on their experience. Their insights can really uncover usability issues and accessibility barriers that you might not have identified. You also want to prioritize user experience. So accessibility is about creating an inclusive user experience. Ensure that your website is not just technically accessible, but also intuitive and user-friendly for all types of visitors. Accessibility is an ongoing commitment, so regularly test and update your website for new content and features to maintain its accessibility. Any issues that come up, you want to address them promptly and keep improving your site's accessibility over time. If you have a development team, educate them about accessibility best practices. Encourage them to follow accessible coding techniques during development as well. Keep track of the accessibility improvements you've made and the issues you've addressed. This documentation can be useful for future reference and audits. And lastly, stay informed. Keep up to date with changes in accessibility guidelines, standards, and best practices to ensure your website remains compliant. Remember that achieving good accessibility is an ongoing process that requires dedication, continuous learning, and a user-centered approach. By combining automated tools, manual testing, user feedback, and a commitment to improvement, you can create a website that is accessible and usable for everyone. So let's look at some online tools that we can use. There are several online tools available that can help you evaluate the accessibility of your website. Some popular options include, so first up you have the Wave Web Accessibility Evaluation Tool. Wave is a widely used tool that provides both browser extensions and an online version as well. It highlights accessibility errors and suggests improvements in real time as you navigate your website. Wave helps website owners, developers, and content creators identify accessibility issues within their web content and provides guidelines on how to fix those. Some key features include real-time feedback. So Wave offers real-time feedback on accessibility issues as you navigate your website. This allows you to see accessibility errors and improvements while interacting with your content as well. They also have browser extensions, which you can see here. They have browser extensions for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, and they're all available for testing accessibility directly within your browser, making it easy to test any web page that you visit. In addition to browser extensions, Wave also offers an online testing tool, and all you need to do is just enter the URL up here, and then from there you will get Wave will generate a detailed report that highlights accessibility issues in a clear and understanding manner. Each issue is marked with sort of like icons that provides more information about the problem and how to address it as well, and is all condensed down into this little kind of report as well. The tool uses icons and visual indicators to show different types of issues, like missing alt text or any redundant title text, things like that. And it also provides explanations and suggestions for how to fixing them. Using the little I, it tells you what it means, why it matters, what to do about it, and any standards and guidelines for, if there are any, for that specific problem as well. Wave can simulate keyboard navigation to help you evaluate whether your website can be fully operated using keyboard inputs. And it also supports multiple languages as well, making it accessible to users from around the world. Wave is a really good tool, and it is widely regarded as a user-friendly and reliable tool for conducting initial web accessibility assessments. It's important to note that while automated testing tools like Wave can catch a lot of common accessibility issues, manual testing and user feedback are also essential for a comprehensive evaluation. So next up we have Axe. So Axe Accessibility Testing Tools has developed by Dig Systems and is a set of tools designed to help developers and testers identify and address accessibility issues on their websites and web applications. Axe provides automated testing solutions that integrate into various development environments and browsers, allowing for efficient and thorough accessibility testing. Some key features of Axe accessibility testing tools include browser extensions. So similar to Wave, Axe does offer browser extensions for Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, Edge, and a lot more as well. So it's really easy to analyze web pages and receive instant accessibility feedback within your browser. It can also be integrated into various development environments as well. And then it makes it easier to incorporate accessibility testing into your development workflow. Axe also provides a command line interface that allows you to perform automated accessibility scans from your terminal. And this is particularly useful for integrating accessibility testing into your continuous integration and continuous deployment of the CI/CD pipeline. They also have web app testing. So the Axe core library can be integrated directly into your web applications, allowing you to perform accessibility checks programmatically during development. And Axe automatically scans your web pages and identifies accessibility issues based on the selected rules. It then provides that detailed report of issues, including explanations and suggestions for remedies as well. The tool categorizes issues like violations, incomplete, or pass, helping you prioritize and address accessibility issues really effectively. And Axe provides detailed reports that highlight each accessibility violation along with suggestions for fixing them. The report includes information about the rule that was violated, the affected element, and the steps to take for a resolution. Axe offers guidance and educational resources to help you understand the issues and improve your understanding of web accessibility. Axe accessibility testing tools are popular among developers and testing for their flexibility, integration options, and focus on providing actionable insights for improving a website's accessibility. And lastly, another really popular tool is A-Checker. So A-Checker, Accessibility Checker, is an online accessibility testing tool that helps evaluate the accessibility of web pages and digital content according to various accessibility standards, including Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, the WCAG, and other international guidelines. A-Checker is widely used by developers, content creators, and organizations to help identify and rectify accessibility issues on their website and online problems. Some key features include web-based testing. So A-Checker is available as an online tool, allowing you to test web pages and digital content directly from your browser without the need for installation. They also have multiple scanning options. So aChecker offers different scanning options, including by URL, by HTML files, or by directly entering the HTML code. And that type of flexibility allows you to test various types of content. aChecker supports accessibility standards and guidelines such as the WCAG 2.0 and 2.1, the BITV section 508, and more. You can choose the specific standard that you want to test against. The tool also incorporates a wide range of accessibility rules and checks based on the selected standards, and these rules cover different aspects of accessibility, including text alternatives, keyboard navigations, color contrast, and lots more. Unlike the previous web checkers we've seen, aChecker also generates detailed accessibility reports that highlights issues and provides suggestions for remedies, and these reports include explanations of the issues, the severity, and the recommendations for fixing them. aChecker allows you to customize the rules and checks applied during the evaluation, enabling you to focus on specific aspects of accessibility relevant to your project. The tool offers different views of the evaluation results, including a summary view, a detailed view, and a view that highlights the affected areas within the HTML code. aChecker provides resources and information to help users understand the accessibility issues and make informed decisions about remediation. aChecker is known for its user-friendly interface and its ability to provide valuable insights into the accessibility web content. It's particularly useful for quick evaluations and preliminary access checks, and you can access aChecker on its official website as well. After accessibility testing, you also want to make sure you have some kind of website speed testing on your website as well. So, what is website speed? Website speed is also known as page load time or website performance. It refers to the amount of time it takes for a web page to fully load and become usable for a visitor. It's a critical factor in determining how quickly a website's content, including text, images, videos, and interactive elements, become visible and interactive to users after they click a link or enter a web address in their browser. Website speed is typically measured in seconds or milliseconds and can have a significant impact on user experience, search engine rankings, and overall business success. A fast-loading website provides several benefits. Firstly is with user experience. So faster websites can create a smoother and more enjoyable browsing experience. Users are more likely to engage with the content or stay on a site that loads quickly, reducing frustrations and bounce rates. It also has benefits to SEO. So major search engines like Google take website speed into account when determining search rankings. Faster websites are more likely to rank higher in search results, leading to increased organic traffic. Websites that load quickly tend to have a higher conversion rate, meaning more visitors take desired actions like making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, or filling out a form. And with the rise of mobile browsing, fast-loading websites are even more crucial. Mobile users often have slower and less stable connections compared to desktop users, making speed an essential factor for retaining mobile traffic. Quick loading times contribute to a positive perception of a website or brand. Conversely, slow loading pages can negatively impact a user's perception of a business, credibility, and trustworthiness as well. Fast loading times for websites are more accessible to users with limited internet connectivity, as well as those using older devices or browsers. Website speed can be affected by various factors, including hosting quality, server response times, page design and complexity, image and video sizes as well, and the use of CDNs as well. Web developers and site owners often work to optimize website speed by using techniques such as compressing images, reducing unnecessary code, leveraging browser caching, and using effective hosting solutions to ensure a seamless and responsive user experience. So now let's talk about the different kinds of website speed, including page load time, server speed, and other relevant metrics. So first up, we have page load time, and page load time also refers to the page load speed, or simply load time. This is the total duration it takes for a web page to fully load and become usable in a user's browser. And this includes the time it takes for all the page's resources, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, and videos, to be fetched and rendered. A faster page load time results in a more satisfying user experience, lower bounce rates, and better conversion rates. And then we have server response time, and this is often called time to first byte, or TTFB, and it measures the time it takes for a web server to respond to a user's request once they've clicked on a link or entered a URL. It includes the time required for the server to process the request and retrieve the necessary data from databases or other sources and send back their initial response. A lower server response time indicates a more efficient server and contribute to a faster page loading time. So render time is the period between when a web browser receives all necessary resources from the server and when it completes rendering the entire page, making it visible and interactive for the user. It encompasses tasks like parsing HTML, applying CSS styles, executing JavaScript, and rendering images. Optimizing render time is essential for ensuring a smoother user experience. Next up, we have First Contentful Paint, or FCP. FCP measures the time it takes for the first visual element to appear on the screen as the page loads. This could be the background text, image, or other audio files. FCP provides insight into how quickly users perceive that a page is loading, contributing to their initial impression of speed. Next up, we have Time to Interactive, or TTI. TTI measures the time it takes for a page to become fully interactive, allowing users to engage with elements like buttons, forms, and links. TTI is really crucial because users expect to be able to interact with the page as soon as it's visually loaded. Next up, we have connection metrics, and these include metrics related to the process of establishing a connection to the server, like DNS resolution time, so this is the time taken to translate a domain name into an IP address. Then you have TCP handshake time, so the time taken to establish a connection, and SSL handshake, so the time taken to establish a secure connection if that's applicable. And lastly, we have content delivery metrics. For websites using content delivery networks, or CDNs, metrics relate to CDN performance like edge server's response time and cache hit rate. And all of these are really important. CDNs help distribute content across multiple servers to reduce latency and improve load times. A really popular CDN to use is Cloudflare. Cloudflare is very widely used, and it can significantly improve page loading times and enhance website performance. It offers a range of features designed to optimize content delivery, mitigate security threats, and improve the overall user experience. The way Cloudflare works is that it has essential kind of global network. So Cloudflare operates a vast network of data centers located across the world. So when you use Cloudflare, your website's content is cached and distributed across these data centers. And this means that when a user visits your website, they are served content from the nearest data center, reducing the physical distance and latency between the user and the server. And by distributing content closer to users, Cloudflare reduces that time it takes for data to travel between the user's device and the server, thus resulting in faster loading times and more responsive website as well. Other than that, Cloudflare also provides a lot of security and DDoS protection. So Cloudflare's WAF, the Web Application Firewall, helps protect your website from various online threats, including malicious bots and hacking attempts. And a secure website tends to perform better since it's not dealing with security-related disruptions. In essence, Cloudflare acts as an intermediary between your website and users, optimizing the way content is delivered, improving loading times, and enhancing security. It's really important to note that while Cloudflare can provide significant improvements in your performance, the extent of improvement can vary based on factors like your website's existing architecture, content, and geographical audience distribution. So it's not just the only thing they need to think about, but it's definitely a factor that can help. So now let's talk about website speed and user experience. So the relationship between website speed and UX and bounce rates is a really critical aspect of web design and optimization. When users first land on a web page, their first impression is heavily influenced by how quickly the page loads, and a fast page loading time creates a positive initial experience, while a slow loading page can lead to frustration and user impatience. Users are more likely to engage with the site that loads quickly, and they can start consuming content, interacting with elements, and achieving their goals without any kind of delay. Slow loading times may cause users to lose interest and abandon the site altogether. Mobile users as well, who are often on the go, rely on cellular networks, and they have even less patience for slow loading pages. Optimizing for mobile is crucial nowadays to cater for the growing segment of users. It's now one of the main ways that people come onto a site. They tend to use mobile more than desktop, so making sure that your website page and all the pages are optimized for mobile is really crucial. So with bounce rates and website speed, bounce rate is essentially the percentage of visitors who navigate away from the website after only viewing one page. A high bounce rate is often indicative of visitors leaving the site without actually engaging further. Slow loading pages can significantly contribute to high bounce rates. If users aren't met with a delay in accessing content, they might become frustrated and leave the site before exploring what it actually offers. Users have short attention spans and they expect websites to provide immediate value, so slow loading pages can test their patience and lead to them seeking alternatives. Bounce rates have a direct impact on conversion rates. If users are leaving the site without taking any actions like making a purchase or signing up, the website's overall conversion performance is affected. To mitigate the negative effects of slow loading times on bounce rates and UX, it's essential to prioritize website optimization. And again, this includes optimizing images, minifying code, leveraging browser caching, reducing server response times, and considering the use of CDNs. Regularly monitoring and testing your website performance is key to ensuring a positive user experience and lower bounce rates. So now let's talk about how website speed affects SEO. Website speed has a significant impact on your search engine optimization. Search engines like Google consider website speed as a ranking factor because they want to deliver the best possible user experience. So here's how website speed affects SEO. Google has officially confirmed that website speed is a ranking factor in its algorithm. Websites that load faster are more likely to rank higher in search engines, and Google aims to provide users with fast and relevant search results, so it rewards websites that offer better loading times. Search engines prioritize websites that provide a positive user experience. Slow loading websites frustrate users and discourage them from staying on the site or returning in the future. As a result, search engines want to promote websites that load quickly to ensure users have a smooth experience. Slow loading pages tend to have a higher bounce rate, which refers to users leaving a website after a short while. And high bounce rates can signal to search engines that the content on the page might not be relevant or the user experience is poor. Conversely, fast loading pages leads to a longer dwell time, so the time users spend on a page, indicating higher engagement and satisfaction. Search engines also allow a crawl budget to each website, which determines how often search bots crawl and index the site's page. A slow-loading website may consume more of its crawl budget on loading pages, leaving fewer resources for crawling and indexing the most important content. And with mobile devices becoming the primary way users access the internet, Google has shifted to mobile-first indexing. This means that Google primarily uses the mobile version of the content for indexing and ranking. Mobile friendliness, which includes fast loading times on mobile devices, is crucial for SEO. Core Web Vitals are a set of user experience metrics that Google considers essential for determining page experience, and these metrics include largest contentful paint, so LCP, first input delay, FID, and cumulative layout shift, CLS, which measures loading performance and it's particularly important for website speed and SEO. To improve website speed for better SEO, steps that you can consider are optimizing images, so essentially compressing images to reduce file sizes without sacrificing quality, removing unnecessary code, leveraging browser caching, and optimize server response time. So ensure that your hosting provider can respond quickly to user requests as well. By prioritizing website speed, you're not only improving user experience, but also boosting your website's chance of ranking higher in search engines, driving more traffic to your website. So let's talk a bit more on how to improve your website speed, and this involves a combination of optimizing various aspects of your website, including code, images, server configurations, and a lot more. First thing that you want to do is conduct a speed test, and we'll talk a little bit later on how to do that, but you want to use online tools like Google PageSpeed Insights, GTmetrix to analyze your website's current performance. These tools provide insights into what elements of your website are slowing it down. Images are often a significant contributing factor to slow loading times. Compress and resize images before you upload them to your site, and considering using modern image formats like WebP, which offers better compression without actually compromising the quality. Removing unnecessary whitespace comments and code from your CSS, JavaScript, and HTML files. This seems small, but it does reduce the file size and makes them load a lot better. Configure your server to set expiration dates for the static resources, and this allows browsers to cache these resources so returning visitors don't need to re-download them. CDNs distribute your website's content across multiple servers worldwide, and when a user requests a page, the server closest to them delivers the content, reducing latency and load times. You want to enable gzip compression on your server. This compresses your website files before sending them to the user's browser, reducing data transfer times. Ensure your web hosting server is responsive, so if you experience slower server response times, consider upgrading your hosting plan or switching to a more reliable hosting provider. For more information about some good hosting providers that are out there, we do have quite a few videos comparing different hosting providers, especially for e-commerce websites, so make sure you give that a go. Each redirect that you have adds additional time to the page load process, minimizing the use of redirects or ensuring that they are necessary for the user experience or SEO purposes. And if you're using a content management system like WordPress, consider using caching plugins. These plugins generate static versions of your pages to reduce server load times and improve load times as well. And most importantly, continually monitor your website speed using various tools and conduct regular performance tests. So it's not enough just to do it once and make improvements. You want to have a set schedule to conduct a speed test and see if there's any new issues that come up, especially if your website has lots of content on it that's constantly being uploaded and being worked on. You want to make sure that you do a speed test every so often to highlight new issues and fix them as soon as possible. Each website is unique, so the specific optimizations required can vary. It's recommended to make these changes one at a time, test the impact after each change, and keep track of your website's performance to ensure you're headed in the right direction. So speaking of conducting speed tests, there are lots of tools and applications out there to help you test it. Two of the most important ones that we're going to talk about today is GTmetrix and Google PageSpeed. So GTmetrix is a really popular web performance testing tool, and it provides detailed insights into your website's loading speed and performance. It offers a really comprehensive analysis of various aspects that impact your website speed and user experience. It combines Google's PageSpeed and Yahoo's YSlow, both of which are performance analysis algorithms to provide a holistic view of your website speed and performance. Some key features of Google PageSpeed or GTmetrix is that it provides a page score out of 100 that evaluates your website's performance based on Google's recommendations, and this score reflects how well your website follows best practices. So to get started on how to use GTmetrix, you want to go onto gtmetrix.com, and all you need to do is enter the URL that you want to test, and you just want to click on test your site. What's really cool about GTmetrix is that you can really configure the testing environment. So for example, the default environment is that it'll test in Canada using Chrome desktop with an unthrottled connection. If you click into the change options button, now you do need to set up an account for this, but it's free. But then click into analysis options, and then what you want to do is change the test format. So you can change the location. So right now it's Canada, but you can change it to North American location, Middle East, Asia Pacific, or even the UK. And then you can test what device. So is it Chrome? Is it mobile? Is it Google Nexus? Things like that. So you can really test the device and the browser that it's using. And with what kind of connection, so 4G slow, 4G, 3G, unthrottled, things like that. And then once you're done, you just want to click on Analyze to actually test your site, and then just wait for the analysis to complete and review the results using the page speed score, why slow, loading time, waterfall chart, and all the recommendations. So as mentioned, one of the key features is the page score. You get a score out of 100 and it's graded, and it evaluates your website's performance based on Google's recommendation, and this score reflects how well your site follows best practices. The score is both the grade and the performance, and it evaluates your website performance based on Yahoo's recommendations as well. It assesses various aspects of your site, including cache settings, JavaScript and CSS optimization, and a lot more. It also has the loading time and page sizes as well. So GTmetrix displays the actual loading time of a web page and its total size in kilobytes. These metrics give you a clear idea of how fast your page loads and how much data it consumes. Then it has something called the waterfall chart, and the waterfall chart provides a visual representation of how each element on your web page loads, and it shows the sequence and timings of requests made to fetch resources like images, scripts, and style sheets. It also has performance scores by category. So tools, it breaks down your performance into two categories like browser timings, connection duration, backend duration, total blocking time, things like that. And it highlights areas where your site is performing well and highlights areas where it could be improved. The tool also offers specific recommendations and suggestions for optimizing website performance. If you go into the summary tab, and what it does, it gives you issues that are currently on your website, and it also marks a priority on them if it's high priority, low priority, or medium. GTmetrix also allows you to compare the performance of multiple pages or websites side by side. In the compare section here, you can compare it with another URL. And it also offers monitoring features to regularly track your website performance over time. And as mentioned before, you can choose to test your website performance on both mobile and desktop devices, and this is really crucial considering Google's emphasis on mobile first indexing and user experience as well. So when it comes to using GTmetrix insights, focus on improving the page speed and why slow scores by addressing the recommendations provided. You want to pay attention to the waterfall chart in this tab here to clearly identify elements causing delays in loading. You want to implement the suggestions for optimizing images, scripts, and style sheets, and you want to use browser caching and leverage a CDN if you don't already to improve load times. And always regularly test your website performance and monitor improvements over time. GTmetrix is a really valuable tool for website owners, developers, and anyone interested in enhancing the website's performance and user experience. It's also free, so it makes it even more valuable. And by analyzing the insights provided by GTmetrix, you can make informed decisions to optimize your website for faster loading times and better overall experience. So next up we have Google Page Speed Insights, and this is a web performance analysis tool provided by Google themselves, and they evaluate the speed and performance of web pages. It offers valuable insights and recommendations to help improve website owners and developers' websites and help them optimize their sites for faster loading times and improved user experience. So it works very similar to Google Page GTmetrix. So you want to go onto the website and then just enter the URL that you want to test, and you just want to click on Analyze, wait for the analysis to run, and then it will then provide you with a score for both desktop and mobile. So some key features of Page Speed Insights is the performance scoring. So Page Speed Insights assigns a score to your web page based on its performance, and the scoring is given on a scale on 0 to 100, and this you've got the performance scale as well. And then it also has scoring for best practices, how you're following SEO, and accessibility. And it's divided into two categories, one for mobile devices and one for desktop devices as well. PageSpeed Insights provides both field data and lab data. So field data is based on real-world user experience collected from the Chrome User Experience Report, while lab data is generated in a controlled environment. And this combination gives you insights into how real user experiences on your website. PageSpeed Insights will then identify specific opportunities listed here to improve your page performance, and these opportunities are categorized again and include suggestions like optimizing images, eliminating render blocking resources, leveraging browser caching, and things like that. The tool also provides core web vitals metrics like LCP, FID, and CLS, and these metrics help you understand how users experience your page loading times as well. So when it comes to using the page insights results, you want to pay attention to both the mobile and the desktop results as well, and just make sure that you remember that they are two separate things. A higher score indicates a better performance, and you have the performance score here. Review the opportunities section to identify specific areas for improvement, and follow the suggestions to optimize images, reduce render blocking resources, and improve response time. You want to address any diagnostic issues highlighted by PageSpeed Insights, and these issues can have a significant impact on your loading speed and user experience. And take note of the core web vitals metrics. You want to aim to improve LCP, FID, and CLS values, as they directly contribute to a better user experience. As mentioned before, just like GTmetrix, with PageSpeed Insights, you want to regularly test and monitor the performance of your pages to continuously make improvements to ensure a consistent and optimized web experience. And again, the really good thing about PageSpeed Insight is that not only do you get a score for performance, but you also get a score for best web practices, accessibility, and SEO. And each of these categories, they'll also give you opportunities for improvement as well. So definitely a good thing to check out while you are testing the performance as well. Google PageSpeed Insights is a valuable tool for optimizing your website's performance according to Google's best practices, and it's also free. So by addressing the recommendations and insights provided by PageSpeed Insights, you can create faster loading pages that deliver an enhanced user experience and contribute to better search engine rankings. And that's a wrap on today's video on TDD. We hope you find this exploration informative and inspiring. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on all things tech, design, and innovative, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Feel free to leave your thoughts, questions, or on any topics that you'd like us to cover in the comments below. And until next time, keep testing, keep developing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.